One thing I really do enjoy is coming across old ruins like this in what you would expect to be the middle of nowhere. So I'm at the woods in the forest above the river now, and the dam that you saw earlier and the causeway, it's got a bit of family history to it. Just following this little track up here, see where this goes. Yeah, it's got a bit of family history to it. It was built, or should I say, he didn't build it alone. My grandfather was in charge of building that. This is going to be easy to get up. Yeah, he was in charge of building that in 1953. Still alive, almost 100 now. So yeah, he told me an interesting story about that dam when they were building it. Oh, I have no idea where I'm going. Anyway, can you listen to that bird? Everybody else gets... You shut up now. Everybody else gets aeroplanes, I get noisy corvids. Appropriate, I suppose. Anyway, yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the story. In 1953, when they were building that dam, there was a massive flood in this area. And they were sitting in the tent playing cards beside the river or near the river when one of them realised that the water was coming inside the underside of the tent. So they jumped up and ran out to find the river had burst its banks. And not only did it burst its banks, it was about to wash their machinery away. So they dove in and rescued their machinery and could do no more. Anyway, when they went back the next day, this river had subsided. They'd found that the river had washed away all the stone that they were going to use to build the dam. So my grandfather went to his boss, said, look, I know where I can get some stone in my village back in Cornwall, because this is Devonshire. Anyway, so he went back with his boys and tore down the old brickworks at Gunners Lake. Nice and fresh. I'm making too much racket now. Anyway, so they went back, tore down the old brickworks at Gunners Lake and brought the stone back here to use. What they'd torn down was an old brickworks. And my grandfather, being my grandfather, gave the bricks to a chap in the village who built himself a house with it. I think that's a cracking story, personally. Recycling, because the old brickworks wasn't in use anymore. Bit of adventure and excitement with the river bursting its banks. I was captivated when he was telling me. Absolutely captivated. Mind you, I reckon he probably sold those bricks. Did a raid in Germany during the war. Raided a parachute factory and sent all the silk home to the village. Well, not all the silk obviously, but sent a lot of silk home to the village, whereby my grandmother and some of the village ladies went and made themselves silk underwear. Best dressed village in Cornwall, I reckon. Look at this thing. He's seen better days. Right, back in a minute. Let's do a bit more mooching. You can shut up. Well, that was steep, and I'm not down yet. Getting too old for this rubbish. Well, the path back looks challenging enough. Don't fancy going back up there, that's for sure. Food eating, feeling better for that. There's nothing like eating good food outside. Mind you, that wasn't particularly good food, but better than those packet meals I see some of you lot eating. Space food. Ugh. If I'd wanted to eat space food, I'd have joined NASA. Never eat anything your granny wouldn't recognise, that's my motto. Anyway. This really isn't very pretty. Well, that's it. I think all the hard stuff's over. We're on a nice easy path now. Just like to say, no I wouldn't. Go on then. Just like to say thanks for watching. I usually put it up on the screen. Now, as you're probably aware, certainly in the UK you'll be aware, we had a bit of snow over here, which is rarer than hen's teeth. So rather than go up on the moor and film it like everyone else, I went up on the moor and filmed it like everyone else. So I'll add it on to the end of this, and I'll see you soon. Ish.